Hi, I'm Gigi Arnetta on your InfoWars Nightly News this August 7th, 2013. It's a Wednesday night, and boy, do we have a lot of news.
Tonight, Homeland Security is criticized over its sexy spy ad. And Obama says the U.S. does not have a domestic spy program. All that and...
Come and take it, mother...
on the InfoWars Nightly News.
You're failures! And now you want to waddle around the piles of crap you are and tell me how to run my life while you siphon everything off of me.
Homeland Security is being criticized for a sexy spy ad. They're doing a campaign right now with a lady holding a cell phone, and it's a bit sexy. It's see something, say something, but we're not sure quite what it is we're looking for. Their campaign has a woman in a low-cut top, prompting jibes that the federal agency is trying to sex up the task of encouraging Americans to spy on each other. Now, their campaigns usually have behaviors that seem routine, such as DHS promotional videos for the See Something, Say Something campaign have portrayed routine behavior as suspicious, including opposing surveillance, paying for a hotel room with cash, using a video camera, talking to police officers, wearing hoodies, driving vans, writing on a piece of paper, and using a cell phone recording application. Obama appeared on the Jay Leno show last night, and he told them that the United States doesn't have a spy program. The president says that the odds of dying in a terrorist attack are a lot lower than they are of dying in a car accident, unfortunately. Oh, and the lying continues. CNN reports a study on mental illness, not combat, causes soldiers suicide. What they're saying is that mental illness, not combat, causes soldiers to commit suicide. Okay, so they're disclaiming PTSD altogether. In this report, it says there's a record number of military suicides seen in recent years that may not be directly due to extended deployments or combat experience, according to a new study. This data analysis, funded by the Department of Defense, suggests that the real reason behind the growing number of military suicides is underlying mental health issues in this population. Well, it sounds like once again, the Department of Defense and the government is denying responsibilities for anything. Now, post-traumatic stress disorder, known as PTSD, is rampant right now with a lot of our military coming back. And for them to say that these guys have mental disorders before they go into the military is just a lie. But I encourage you to go ahead and read that article in your free time, and it's a good long article, and think about it, and maybe let your government know that they need to start taking care of our veterans. They're waiting way too long to be taken care of. They're filing claims, and they don't hear back soon enough, and that's why we have this many suicides. Pennsylvanians are asking feds for backup. They're having a little problem. Recently, the police chief of the small town, Chief Mark Kessler, was removed from his post, but his opponents are far from satisfied. Now residents of a sparsely populated former coal town are asking the feds to intervene in fear of an armed revolt. In Gilberton, Pennsylvania, Kessler made international headlines. Last month, he had videos going up, and they exposed the world to a lawman seemingly intent with defending his Second Amendment rights. You can take a look at it and decide yourself. But the town is afraid, and they're asking the feds for help.
Kerry says U.S. will sign UN treaty on arms regulations despite lawmakers' opposition. That piece of traitor. You know what I have to say? Come and take it, mother. Come and get it.
2 weeks ago, a key witness in the trial of a Mafia boss was found dead. He had said the best revenge is getting on the stand and looking him in the eye. It's going to be a great day. A couple of weeks later, Steve Rakes was dead. The police told the family it was suicide. But there were facts in the case that weren't consistent with suicide. His family said he wasn't suicidal or depressed. His body was found without phone or wallet, and his car was missing. A man with a story to tell about a secretive criminal organization with a history of murder. A man determined to tell that story, regardless of what happened to him. The man dies, and the physical evidence isn't consistent with the conclusion the police immediately jumped to. I'm not talking about the Mafia witness now. I'm talking about Michael Hastings, the man who had information about the world's largest and most successful criminal organization, the CIA. The difference in the two stories is that Steve Rakes' family and friends pushed back against the official story. They demanded and got an investigation, and after 2 weeks of investigation, they learned that he was murdered. Although the official story is that the murderer had his own agenda and wasn't working for the Mafia boss. That hasn't happened with the Michael Hastings story. His wife, after initially saying she was going to take down whoever had killed Hastings, has now presented the perfect picture of a gleeful Stepford wife.
He always had at least 5 hot stories going. That was Michael's. You know, my gut here is that it was just a really tragic accident.
What a strange comment, and what a strange reversal. But then again, she did work as Director of Communications for the National Security Council. Hastings' apparent murder under suspicious circumstances while he was covering a story that was going to embarrass the government affects all of us, not just Hastings' wife. This goes to the heart of corruption and crime at the highest level of our government that's manifesting itself in multiple scandals that have roots with both parties over multiple administrations. Hastings' murder is an attempt to intimidate those who would report on the crimes of our government. And while the government may be spinning the story now and stonewalling on information, the truth will eventually come out. For InfoWars Nightly News, I'm David Knight.
The Egypt crisis enters tense new phase as mediation collapses. Egypt's army-installed government said on Wednesday diplomatic efforts to resolve the political crisis had failed and signaled it was gearing to take action against supporters of deposed President Mohamed Morsi, gathered at 2 protest camps in Cairo. The senior U.S. diplomat involved in the mediation effort, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State William Burns, left Egypt on Wednesday, shortly after the government declared the diplomatic efforts had failed. Maybe we could quit sending money to Egypt. In Fort Hood, the suspect that was accused of, quote, workplace violence, has decided to represent himself, but the lawyers won out. The trial has been delayed. Major Nidal Hassan, accused of killing 13 people and wounding 31 others in a 2009 shooting spree, began with a rift between Hassan and his standby counsel that resulted in court being adjourned for the day early on Wednesday. In a motion filed late Tuesday, the team said that they felt that Hassan is trying to purposely get the death penalty and asked the judge not to force them to be a part of that effort. So Osborne said the court will reconvene Thursday morning. One way the government gets a hold of your children is through CPS. And we're going to be talking with Aram Hampson, who did a film on just that after the break. But for now, we've got the daily quote. The secret of freedom lies in educating people, whereas the secret of tyranny is in keeping them ignorant. That's Maximilian Robespierre. It's time to get active, especially if you're in Austin, Texas. Tomorrow morning, Thursday, August 8th at 10 a.m., you can go speak your mind at the Austin City Hall. They're going to be trying to increase the smart meter system in Austin, a $60 million contract that they'd like to have to make more smart meters happen around the Austin area, which, as you know, is terrible for your health if you've been listening to our shows. And it's just not good for anything because it gives the government more abilities to spy on you, connects with all your smart equipment in your home. And if you've heard Alex talk to Laura or Sheila Hemphill, it's incredible what they can do with this. It's always better to be there in person if you can. Speak up at City Hall Thursday, August 8th at 10 a.m. And if you have any questions, you can call Laura 512-762-3825. and get active, get proactive, and stop the smart meter system from being even more implemented in Austin and in other areas of the United States. That's it for this portion of the Nightly News. Stick around for the interview with Aram Hampson.